Hey, this is Dean from Mac Tactics, the legendary system that shows you how to attract hot women step by step. Now, in this short video, I'm going to give you one of my favorite tactics. It's a really cool, powerful tip called creating IOUs that is going to make it so much easier for you to gain favor with women and actually make them want to do things for you. But first, I want to give you a little bit of background on how I got to this point. Now, my first book, Mac Tactics, it was based on my adventures on the singles scene with a hostage negotiator. I actually made friends with a guy who was a hostage negotiator, and he took me under his wing and taught me how to communicate with and seduce women on a whole new level. It's true. I was trained in the art of pickup by an actual hostage negotiator, like you've seen in the movies. You know, when some armed to the teeth psycho is holed up inside a bank with a bunch of terrified hostages, the cops call in a negotiator to talk things through with him and work out a peaceful surrender. Well, my negotiator buddy actually did that for a living. In fact, he was the youngest negotiator in his police department. And being that we lived in Las Vegas, once he had wrapped up a stressful standoff, it was his custom to hit the bars and nightclubs and blow off steam. So I would accompany him on these late-night excursions, where I discovered that my negotiator friend also happened to be phenomenal with women. Whether we were hanging out in bars or nightclubs or running errands at the local mall, he was constantly meeting and chatting up new women. He made it seem effortless, as if he knew precisely what to say to make them smile, lower their guard, and want to know him. Now, I realized his uncanny ability to bond with people and relate to them was due to his training and his in-field experience as a hostage negotiator. As I continued to watch him in action, I began to see the parallels between negotiations and conversing with women. Many of the same rules apply to both, and if you master these rules, you'll become absolutely unstoppable when you're interacting with women. So let me give you an example of a hostage negotiation tactic that I adapted to use with women. It's called creating IOUs. The idea behind this tactic is that most guys constantly do favors for women and ask for nothing in return and get nothing in return. We buy them drinks when we're out at bars. We take them out on dates and buy them dinner. If a girl we find attractive asks us to do pretty much anything, we'll jump at the chance to help her out in the hopes of winning her affection. The problem is, beautiful women are used to guys bending over backwards to please them and do things for them, which is why I want you to start turning the tables. From now on, you're going to look for ways to create IOUs. You're going to let women know that you're going out of your way to do nice things for them, and this will have a subconscious effect. Instead of taking your efforts for granted, she will feel the need to pay you back, and this payback could be in the form of sex. Before I explain how to create IOUs with women, let's look at how this tactic is used in a hostage negotiation. Let's say some guy named Bob has barricaded himself inside his house with his ex-wife and kids. He's holding them at gunpoint. The house is surrounded by cops and a SWAT team. The negotiator shows up at the scene and starts talking to the hostage taker over the phone. The negotiator will start creating IOUs by making the hostage taker feel that he's on his side and going out of his way to help him out. He might say, "Listen, Bob, I just want you to know that I'm on your side. I'm going to make sure no one tries to go in there and mess with you. I won't let anyone hurt you." A bit later in the negotiation, he might say, "Bob, I just spoke to everyone out here, and I made sure no one is going to cut off the power or electricity inside your house. I want you to be calm and comfortable in there so that you and me can keep talking." Now, here's the thing. The cops never had any intention of storming the house or cutting off the electricity, but the negotiator makes it seem like he's bending over backwards to do Bob favors and look out for him. So naturally, Bob appreciates this. Subconsciously, he also feels indebted to the negotiator. This is where a psychological principle called the rule of reciprocity comes into play. As human beings, when we feel that someone is doing us favors or giving us something valuable for free, we want to do something for them. And so, when the negotiator asks Bob to release one of the hostages, Bob complies. He feels that he owes the negotiator that much. As the negotiation continues, more IOUs are created, and Bob continues to pay back the negotiator by granting his requests, until eventually all of the hostages are freed, and Bob exits the house and surrenders peacefully. So now, let's look at some ways that you can playfully create and cash in IOUs with women. When you call her up to ask her on a date, you say something like, Jessica, tonight's your lucky night because I'm going to take you to one of my secret off-the-radar spots. It's a very cool bar lounge that not many people know about. I only bring close friends there because it's like my private hideaway. But I know you would enjoy it, so I'm going to show it to you. Just don't tell a lot of people about it. Now, isn't that a way cooler way to ask a girl out than to say, you feel like going out for a drink? With this approach, the negotiator approach, you're getting her excited about visiting a cool new spot, and you only bring special people to this spot. It's like you're doing her a favor. Then, throughout the evening, I'll rack up more IOUs. When she's in my car, I might say, normally I never let anyone touch my radio, but I'm going to let you go ahead and choose the music tonight because I have a feeling you have good taste. Just don't let me down. No Justin Bieber, okay? When we walk into a restaurant and she goes to sit down, I'll say, that's funny. That's the side of the table I always sit on. But it's okay. You can take it. You're the VIP tonight. So the girl will usually make a little protest, but I'll walk around the table, pull out her chair, and help her get settled into her seat. Afterwards, if we're at a bar or lounge having drinks, I might say, I promised myself I'd be home by 11 o'clock because I have a meeting in the morning, but this conversation is so interesting, I'm going to have to give you 1 more hour. These are all IOUs. You can throw in jokes, too. You could say, okay, I'll get us 1 more round of drinks, but you're going to owe me a 30-minute back massage. At the end of the night, you might wind up driving her home and walking her to her front door. This is an awkward moment for most guys. They're wondering if they should go for a goodnight kiss. But if you've built up some IOUs, there's no need to be stressed, because now all you have to do is cash them in. You smile and say something like, I hope you had fun tonight. I wanted to make sure you had a good time. I brought you to my secret spot. I let you choose the music. I gave you my seat at the restaurant. I even stayed up past my curfew, so I figure the least you can do is invite me in for a drink. I have never gotten turned down when I phrase it like that. All right, this is Dean, and stay tuned for more Mac Tactics.